All right, if you are not new to my channel or seen other people do it, you should be familiar with one of these. This is a twinkle light box. This is a one way, or I think the better way, to get a starlight effect inside of your vehicle for the headliner. Now there's actually two different types. There's ones that are just a light box with nothing in it, just real thin, small. It just gives you a light and the light goes through here. These guys have a little metal wheel on the inside, and it rocks and it twists and it spins and it has a bunch of holes in it. And so when the light hits it, it kind of flickers differently, and that will give you that starlight effect. Now this particular kit is supposed to be 150 fiber lines. It does come with a AC house, or a car and a house piece. It does come with a remote, and it does come with some lovely instructions. There are some better kits that do include the meteor shower. This one does not have it. It's a small headliner. We don't need all that. So the meteorite stuff is really cool for really big headliners because you can kind of track the whole meteor shower across the headboard. Now I've already disassembled everything we need to do, for at least for the most part, to get the headliner out. Marked it, all that jazz, but we're gonna go over how to take it apart so at least you know how to do it if you have a 370Z, or if you want to get an idea if you have something similar. Just to give you an idea, the headrest had to come out, all the interior rear plastics all had to come out, trunk panel stuff, but yeah, it's pretty bare in there now. Now, because of how tight the interior plastics are going to be, I'm going to show you where we're going to put this, and we're going to show you where we're going to run the wiring. Okay, so driver's side footwell, I took off the plastic, went ahead, did some testing. We're going to go ahead and take this fuse right here, which is the cigarette lighter. So we're going to go ahead and pull that out and use a fuse tap and go from there. Okay, so we're just going to go over a couple things. You want to make sure that you're protecting your investment. If you're going to be doing this in your car, running wiring, you want to make sure that you're not just leaving exposed wire out, and you want to make it look really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to use the car cigarette lighter as our sacrificial wire to build the rest of the harness. And the main reason is, well, we still need this. So we're just going to cut the end of this to get some length. We're going to build the whole thing out, and we're just going to go from there. Now, since my ground is very close to where we're putting the box, I don't want to, make this wire extra long for no reason. So we're going to go and cut it about right here. Not really a whole lot, but we're going to go ahead and cut it right there. Use my wire tool. Then we get rid of that. We don't need this in the area. Now we're down just to the short wire. So go ahead and put this in the wire strippers. Let's expose our two wires. As you can see, this is not very thick wire. This device does not require a lot of power to operate, so that's okay. But we're going to try to put some bigger wire on it, jump it up, and just give us some extra working room. Okay, so after doing some math, going through everything, this light box is only going to need a 2 amp fuse, and then we're only going to need a little wire. I have some 16 gauge laying around, so we're going to go ahead and build this. It would be a good transition between this and whatever technical size this one is, and we just make it safe and pretty. Now we're going to start with this end and not this end. The reason is, once this is installed, it's going to be a little bit harder to get to versus this. So step one, we want to make sure we have some kind of connector like this. This is a heat shrink tube with some solder in the inside. And after we're done heat shrinking and soldering, we're going to add another heat shrink tube to the outside of that just to add an extra layer of protection. God forbid it rains inside the car. Okay, so I went ahead and got the wires twisted. I have this on here, and we're going to use this little tool to melt it. Then on the other end, go ahead and slide your heat shrink tube, and basically try to cover up as much of the wire as possible without exposing the end you just did. So my ends will be right about there. Okay, it's really hard to do this with one hand, but I got one of my smaller negative ground forks here. or wiring fork, whatever you'd like to call it. I got that crimped in there, and now we're going to go use the heat gun to also shrink this down. Just like that, it is shrunk down. It is now more of a translucent versus a foggy. A little tacky. But it is on there now. Alright, so after heat shrinking, adding some tubes and tape and all that, I even go in and add this fabric style automotive tape. And you'll end up something like this. You don't have to do all this, it's just a personal preference. So this is where my wiring is, hooking up to the factory wire or the existing harness that comes with the box. I want to protect it. I want to make it as nice as I can, super secured. So God forbid something spilled on or somehow something happened, it's protected to the best of its ability. Now, since the wires already ran through the car, we're going to go ahead and use one of these. Now, this is a heat shrink style spade. And then here is a female spade connector. Now, this one's going to allow the heat shrink one to connect to it. But this one's going to be connected to the fuse tap. That way I could take this, and if ever need be, I can remove the wire with the ease of everything. It's not a big deal. I can replicate it, whatever I got to do. But it just makes things serviceability just a little bit easier. And same thing, you can go ahead and look how pretty that is. Nice and protected. Should be good for pretty much ever. Okay, so we're back in the driver's side footwell. We just built the fuse tap, and now we need to put, so like I said, this will go and tap in right here. But our harness wire, this is going to be, the power that runs all the way up there. We need to go ahead and get this connected. I brought two just in case. And basically, we'd go ahead and put this on there, heat shrink it, and then you'd sit like that. But then I'm going to add another heat shrink tube right here, and that's going to also enclose this, and then I'll end this with some tape and harness protection too. Alright, it's really hard to see, and it's really hard to film in here. But that's that same spade connector I showed you. It's heat shrunk on. We're going to go ahead and slide the end of it, of the new one, the black one. And once that's on there, we'll go ahead and hit it again. Okay, and there we go. So now it's it's enclosed a little bit, and now we're going to top with the electrical and a little bit of body harness tape that I have left, and then we can go ahead and finish the wiring, and then it's reassembly time. Okay, it is in. It's now tucked in. Now, for those who are wondering, yes, it is exposed the rest of the way. That's fine. I just want the areas where there's a lot more stuff going on, whatever the case, I want it. But yeah, you just tuck the wire under these clips. There is a way to undo these clips, and it undoes the whole thing, but honestly it's just easier to slide it under. And then when you're done, just make sure you lift the carpet back into its spot like that, the way you found it, and then it's hidden. You can barely tell there's anything done here. Okay, I'm not gonna film all this part. I filmed it before. It takes a long time, so objectively you want to get as much of the stars throughout the whole headliner. What I find best thing to do is measure out the end of your headliner to where your box is going to go. But for extra precaution, basically stretch your wires out. Or not stretch them, but get them lined up to where they're going into their holes. And once you have all that done, try to pull back and keep that line as straight or as simple as possible. And then these will all get done too, but they'll give you more slack on the tail side, so you have more working room. In a nutshell, you're going to take one of your fibers. After you mark it with a marker and drill it out, slide it into the hole, and that's it. Now, that's it for now, but you're going to have to come back with some hot glue and seal all
All right,
these.
so make sure you read these. This is going to be very helpful for you, so pause if needed.
It'll be good to go.
But there's a lot of work on this. So just keep that in mind. There's a lot of work, a lot of repetitive steps. And make sure you test everything before you button it up. This is kind of the layout right here. And this is where it hides in the back side. Now this is definitely one of my favorite interior mods to do. I've done it a couple times already. I have a old video on the channel for the XB. It's a lot more in-depth. There's a couple videos on that, including installation, wiring, and many more. It's more or less the same, just different, layouts and whatnot. But at the end of the day, it's something, if you're going to do, you're going to spend quite a lot of time on it. So just keep that in mind. Well, that's it for today's video, guys. With that being said, happy holidays, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.